water. So now we have to discuss the last topic of the chapter, that is conservation of water. In the previous video, we have understood that why water is important for us. We have studied that excess of water can lead to flood, and if there is no water, it can lead to drought. We have understood the whole water cycle also. So we all know that water is very important for us. That is why we need to conserve the water. See, every drop of the water is important. So we have to look for methods, for various methods, so that we can conserve the water. Like if you are at your home, you can conserve the water. If you are working somewhere, you can conserve the water. You are coming to the schools, then also you can conserve the water. Every drop of the water that you are conserving has a prolonged effect on our environment. Okay, now if I talk about the various ways of conserving water, the very first and the simple ways which we can do at our home also, like if you are at your home and there is any leakage in your taps, always repair them. There should not be any leaking taps. Okay, secondly, if you want to wash your fruits and vegetables, never wash them under the running water, because when the water is running now, we don't feel that water is wasted, but it ultimately, if you wash them in a bowl of water, you are saving a lot of water. Okay, secondly, if I talk about the vehicles, like most of the people wash the vehicles with the help of a pipe, but that method is wasting a lot of water. So please use a bucket instead of pipes. Okay, and if you are like simple, if you are taking a bath, please take the buckets, don't take showers. Okay, because showers also leads to lots of water wastage. And if you are in fact at your home and you are in the morning, the first thing that you do is you're brushing your teeth. So while brushing, many people always open the taps and leave. Don't use that method. Just wet your brush and then close the tap. Okay, that method you can save a lot of water. Okay, now if we talk about the most important method of saving the water is your rainwater harvesting. As the name suggests, you are harvesting your rainwater. Okay, rainwater harvesting not only helps you to use the water for the daily purposes, it can also help you to replenish the groundwater. The water table in any area can be replenished with the help of the rainwater harvesting method. In rainwater harvesting method, we are collecting the rainwater and we are storing that water, and that stored water can be used for various purposes, like it can be used at your home and for household purposes. It can be used for irrigation fields. It can be used to replenish your groundwater. Okay, so in rainwater harvesting, we have two basic methods. First is your rooftop rainwater harvesting. See, as the name suggests, rooftop rainwater harvesting means you are harvesting and saving the rainwater with the help of the roofs. What you are doing, what we do in this method is that there is rainfall which is happening, and at the roof now you are collecting the water, and that collected water with the help of pipelines goes into your underground tanks. You have made underground tanks, like under your ground. There are few liters, it can be up to gallons of the tanks, and with the help of pipelines, that water from the roof is coming into those tanks where it is stored. Now it is stored, you can use that water for any purpose, like you can directly connect that underground tank to your household pipes. But if you want to use them for a household, yes, because you are collecting them at your roof. So through the pipes, through the roof, there can be some soil also. So you need to filter that water. But if you want, you can connect that tank through the pipe to the irrigation fields. Like there are some pipes that are connected to your tank, and those pipes can help you to irrigate the crops. Okay, so that way you can do. Secondly, if you want, you can connect those tanks underground with the help of pipes and to give the water to your underground soil. So you are replenish your underground water table. This is one of the simplest method which is often used at various places. Second method is your recharging of the wells. What you do, that we make huge pits for storing the water and for collecting the rainwater, and those huge pits are being connected to your wells. Like in rural areas or in villages, you find many wells, so they are connected to your wells, and these wells are further connected to various households or to your crop fields. In this method, in the first method, we were collecting the water on our roofs, and through the pipe system we are getting and recharging our underground tanks. But in the second method, we are using the recharge wells method. You are collecting the water in your huge pits, and with the help of those pits, the water in the wells are being recharged, and those water can add to your household purposes, or you can add this water to your underground, replenish your underground water. Okay, so with this we have finished the chapter. Now we will just summarize the whole chapter with the help of our summary flow chart. Now if we summarize the chapter, this is the flow chart. It is also given in your books also. So in this chapter, the very first thing which we have studied is availability. That water is how much it is available to us. Like if I talk about the fresh water, that is only 1%, and from that 1% also there are some lakes, and only 0.01% is available to the humans and to the animals. And importance, we all know that water is very, very important for us. We need water in our daily life. We cannot survive without water, not even for a day. We need for bathing, we need for cooking, washing. Our body also needs water for maintaining the temperature of our body. And in industries also we need water. So water is very important for us. We all should be very careful while using the water. Next, if we talk about, we have studied about the various sources of water. Sources, like we have studied that there is underground water, there are oceans which have sea water. 97% of the earth's water is in the oceans, that is salty water. And there are lakes, there are ponds, there are some glaciers and ice caps also. They are also a lot in our environment. So we have studied about the various sources and their percentage also, how much percentage which sources having. Then we have studied about the water cycle. In water cycle, we have studied three basic processes. The very first is the evaporation, that the water from the lakes, ponds, ocean, due to the sun's heat, it is getting evaporated, means the water is converted into your water vapor. And when those water vapors being lighter, they always tend to go up in the sky, and when they go up in the sky is very cold, and because sky is cold, that water vapor converts into your tiny droplets of water, and that process is called as condensation. And with the help of that process, those tiny droplets combine together and clouds are formed. When clouds are not able to hold the water, they just flow the water out, and that is your precipitation. And when the temperature is too cold, the precipitation can be in the form of your snowfalls and hailstorm. And this process continues in our environment. And then if I talk about excess of water, whenever the water is too much, that the drainage system cannot hold that water, it leads to floods. And floods have very harmful effect on the humans, animals, as well as the plants, as well as the property also. So it has very harmful effects, like if there is excess of water, people are not able to transport from one place to another. If there is excess of water, the plants will get rotten. There will be waterborne diseases also. There is damage to the properties also, electrical systems also, as well as your telephone lines, phone lines, all will be disrupted because of the floods. Secondly, but if there is no water, then also it's a problem, that is your drought. Drought is a dry condition that is happening because of very less rainfall, or there is no rainfall, or there are excess of fires, or there is very dry and humid winds are blowing, so it can lead to drought. Now drought is usually leads, if it is not controlled at the primary stage, it is going to lead to very disastrous epidemics also. Why? Because drought can lead to the death of the people. Like if there is no water, the plants, crops will not be there, humans will not get water, so hence we will not able to drink the water, bathing, washing, everything will be disrupted. And if there is no water, plants will not perform the photosynthesis process, the plants will die, and most of us are getting our food also from the plants. So we will not get food also, and it can lead to famine conditions. Like if there is people and animals are dying because of loss of water, there is no water, there is no food, people are dying, that leads to your famine condition, and which is very common in case of droughts. Now if we talk about that, if there is lack of water, or even if there is no lack of water, we need to conserve the water, because water conservation is very, very important. Every drop of water is important for us, and we have to save it, because water is limited source. Because if you are wasting that 1% of fresh water that is available, then your groundwater will be reduced day by day, and at the end your future generation will not have the water. So for this, we have studied that the common things which we can do at our home, like we should close our taps, we should not use buckets instead of pipelines or showers, we should not wash the fruits and vegetables in the running water, we should always use the bowl method, and one of the most important method of conservation of water is rainwater harvesting. As the name suggests, you are saving the rainwater. And for this, there are two methods which we have studied. The very first is rooftop rainwater, or you are collecting the rainwater on your roofs, and with the help of the pipeline system, the water is going into your underground tanks. And underground tanks, say you can connect the various pipes to your households, but if you want to use that water in your household, you need the filters also, because that water might have some soil particles. So if you want to use that water in your house, you will use the filters. Okay, and else if you want, you can also connect those pipes to your soil so that you can replenish your groundwater also. And secondly, you can also use those pipelines through the underground tank to your irrigation fields also. So it will help you to save the water for that purpose also. Secondly, we have studied about recharging of the wells, like you are making huge pits in your ground, and in those you are going to collect the water, and then pipes can be connected through those pits to your households, to your industries, and you can use them for any purpose. So overall, if I talk about in this chapter, we have studied everything related to your water, that how you can conserve it, why you need to conserve it, what is its importance, what is its sources, how the excess of water is harmful for us, how the lack of water can be dangerous to us, and most important method of your water conservation, that is rainwater harvesting. I hope this chapter is clear to you. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Take care.